Hi, I'm Dree, and welcome to my channel, Celestial Angst. Thank you so much for joining me on the latest installment of my doll customization journey. Today, as you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be making a Harley Quinn custom doll. This is a doll I've looked forward to making for a long time. I wanted to make sure that I had the skills as far as face painting to make sure that I could actually make a doll like Harley. I think that I've acquired the supplies and skill to at least paint her face in the way that I would like for her to look. Now, I'm not all the way there in terms of the level that I want to be at with face repaint, just doll customs in general, but that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to practice. I'm here to keep getting better. I love doing it. I love crafting. I feel like it's a way to make my artwork tangible by making dolls. So I really enjoy making dolls, even though I do have a full-time job, and it is hard to film videos, edit them, as well as making the doll in general. But it's something that I do out of passion and out of love for the craft. I really appreciate the small community that has come together and subscribed and liked my videos and commented, because I'm not really doing this to go viral or really even for money. I'm really doing it because I just love the art of it. As you can tell, there's a little bit of a difference from my last video. I am on camera this time. That is because I finally have my setup kind of well set up. So we had moved into a new house. It took me a little bit to get back into the flow of things, but now that I've got my things where I want them to be, it's a lot easier to do things on camera. In this custom, I feel like you're gonna see a lot of inspiration from the original, of course, but as well as reimagined and cartoon versions. I've taken a lot of inspiration from artists on Pinterest, and I think that it just kind of helped me identify what accessories and characteristics of Harley that I wanted to stick with and implement into my custom. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, please give me a like, subscribe, share, comment. If you guys have any kind of tips for me or anything that you notice that I may be doing incorrectly or could be doing better, definitely comment it and give me some constructive criticism, because that's always appreciated, especially from fellow artists. But I'll stop holding you guys up because I know what you clicked this video for. So without further ado, please enjoy my latest installment of my latest custom. Today I'm going to be using the Made to Move Classic Barbie Face Sculpt. Next, I'm going to take a very hot cup of water and stick her head first and leave her in there for just a couple of minutes. This will allow her head to soften and make it a lot easier to plop it right off of her body. I am going to be keeping the hair for this doll just because she's already blonde and Harley Quinn is blonde. Next, I'm super gluing her joints just so this will make it a lot easier during the sculpting process. The clay that I'm using is epoxy sculpt. It's actually an industrial clay and it basically hardens to concrete. So the good thing is that you don't have to bake it, but the downside is that you do have a time limit. So I think for this particular clay, I have about 45 minutes to work with it, maybe a little bit longer if I add water. I do like to work in sections when it comes to epoxy sculpting just because you can't bake it, so it is very easy to mess up or smudge parts of it while you're trying to sculpt other parts. Here I am sanding the parts that are going to be the skin just so it's a little bit more seamless before I add on her clothing. I did go ahead and make the skirt out of black Warbler off camera. In hindsight, it was very obvious to me that I should have painted her skin first before going in and painting her clothing, but hindsight's always 2020. After the acrylic paint has fully dried, I went in with some Mod Podge and sprinkled glitter on the parts that I covered with Mod Podge. At some point, I did decide to stop glitterifying and paint her skin tone on. I'm not sure what prompted me to do so, but I did do so eventually. After her skin dried, I went in with some body blush. For the body blush, I used some chalk pastels and I just scraped off the colors that I needed and mixed them together. For her tights or stockings, I'm going to actually be using one of my shirts, and I found that this was the perfect scale for a doll, so I decided to go with it. I found it very satisfying to cut off the last pieces of the stocking and to see it just fully come together. For her face, I'm going to be using some nail polish remover from the dollar store that has acetone in it. This face was pixelated, so it did take a little bit extra acetone and a little bit extra scraping. You will be relieved to know that eventually she does become faceless. Doing the face is honestly the scariest part of the doll for me. I feel like I say that every single video. It's just because it's such a small scale and it takes so much precision. But with each face that I do, it honestly becomes a little bit more manageable and the process becomes more seamless. Another thing that you guys may not be able to tell from these videos is that it takes so many layers of Mr. Super Clear just to get the doll's face to build up to the pigment that you really need it to be to look like an actual doll face. So there's definitely things that you don't see, like the 30 minutes of waiting in between face paints and the dozens of layers. Okay, maybe not dozens of layers, but maybe at least a dozen layers. To help with the pigment and blending, I did add pastels to her eyeshadow. I think this just really helps smooth out some of the harsh lines. For this particular blush, I am using resin powders. I believe I used a mix of pink, white, and maybe a touch of red. Now I'm just kind of carefully going in with some white acrylic paint for the whites of her eyes and also to do the catch lights. For the headpieces or jester hat, I'm not really sure what it's called, but I just used one of my shirts and I measured and sewed it. I don't really have much experience in hand sewing, but if I can do it, then you can definitely do it. You can really do anything you set your mind to, I've learned when it comes to hand sewing. But I did go ahead and paint those with some acrylic paint and Mod Podge in their respective colors. Now I'm going to coat them in Mod Podge and cover them in glitter. I'm going in with this Deco Art Triple Thick coating, and I'm going to be putting it on pretty much all of Harley's garments that are covered in glitter. This will just help with the glitter shedding. It's not going to completely prevent it, but it's going to help a lot. I found the perfect hands from AliExpress. They were only like $10, so I definitely recommend getting your hands from there if you can't afford them from Etsy. I decided not to do anything too elaborate with her nails. I just went in with black and red. I didn't get a lot of footage of me making the mallet. In fact, I can link Hextian's tutorial down below because that's pretty much what I went off of. But I am just painting it as a base white so that it's a lot easier to paint the actual colors on later. The mallet honestly came out to the perfect scale, and I can't wait to see how it looks with Harley.
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You hear? And don't forget it.